So I was watching a video by Shannon Green yesterday, and then I also watched one last night by Kate Hand that she had done after watching Shannon's video, and it's called Dendritic Monoprinting. So I'm going to show you what that is, in case you aren't a subscriber of those two channels, and I'll link their videos below so you can see their results. But essentially what you're going to need is two pieces of glass that are completely flat. I have here a cutting board. This is the back side of the cutting board. Here's a little feet that you would have. The other side has a textured surface, and that will not work. And then I also have a piece of glass from a picture frame. Now you are best to get thicker glass. So if I had another cutting board, I would be using that, because you're going to need to press down on the glass. Another thing, you need to have a surface that does not bend. So don't do this on your bed or on carpet. You need a really hard surface, because when you do the pressing down to create the little weird prints, you have an opportunity to break your glass if it bends. So I'm pretty confident that this thick cutting board will keep this nice and sturdy. You're going to need some paints and some paper. I've just got some craft paints here. I've got some more on the floor I'm going to play around with. Then I have an assortment of neon printer paper that I don't ever think I'm going to use, but I thought it might be kind of fun to do these on, and we'll see how that turns out. You also will need a thin tool, maybe your palette knife. I think palette knife or your X-Acto knife might work, because you're going to need to pry up the glass at the corner so that you can, lift it. And when you lift it, that's what helps create this fun little pattern. So let's get started and see how well I do, and hopefully we'll get some interesting looks from this. Please excuse the bit of glare from my light. I really can't do much about it without removing a light source from us, so unfortunately that's kind of the hazard of glass. Off over that way I have my extra table set up as a place to put my papers. Alright, well here we go. Let's see, we're going to start with some blue, I think. Just going to shake these up real good just to make sure that they aren't like watery coming out. I have some brown, black, a few shades of green. I thought they might be kind of neat to try on these neon pages. So, alright, so we are going to put it on this surface and then flip it onto the other one, just so I can maintain a specific size. Hopefully this isn't going to come out all disgusting and gloppy. Oh, that's decent. Alright, and let's do some lighter blue with that. Maybe some metallic might be fun. So essentially what you're doing here is similar to what you would do on a jelly plate, but rather than put patterns into it like you would on a jelly plate using, tools or whatever, the pattern's going to be created from peeling the glass apart. And it should come out looking like little ferny plant kind of things. So, oh, and obviously you'll need a brush to spread your paint around. You want as even as a coating as you can manage. And you don't want it completely thinned out, because you need to have the paint in there. If you have any of these weird gloppy bits, like from your old paint, make sure to get rid of those. They will affect your printing coming out. There's another one. Alright, I think that looks pretty decent. We hope. Also to have on hand is some spray water, because once you've peeled this apart you can try to make a second pull using the paint. You want to do this as even as possible. Now here's the pressing down part. Just kind of get pressed down. So you can already start to see some of the fun happening there. Can you see that? Let me zoom in for you. See the little fern bit happening? Alright. So I got that pressed pretty decently. I got a couple pieces of paper handy, so when I peel that off I can get going. Let's put those up that way a little bit. Alright. Now it's the vacuum suction that occurs from the glass being stuck together that helps create this fun pattern. See that fun stuff going on there? Or hopefully we can get that off. Make sure you put your paper down nice and even. And you're just going to very gently run your fingers on it to pick up some of that. You don't want to smush the effect that's being created. Wow, that's pretty darn cool. Check that out. Super, super fun. And I got little metallics going on. And then, like I said before, if you can get a second one usually. This one you can press a little harder because you've removed quite a bit of that paint. That's pretty neat. I like this little channel here. It kind of looks like wood. Yeah, see that's the where it's a little dried out. You can maybe is that even squirting? Oh, where am I actually squirting? Holy cow. Skills! Let's have some skills here. Now she did do some, or I should say, Cat Hand did do some on some labels. That's a little bit better. And her labels were sticking to the surface and creating some issues for her. I also have some labels, so I want to see if I can get mine to do anything fun. So that's a lighter version. You can come back in and do like a second print or something with that. So I'm going to keep these ones over here, the lighter versions, and put my first pulls off onto my dry paper table. Now, let's see. I'm just going to go back in with this blue and add a bit of this lighter green. Maybe. Get a bit more of that on there. Alright, time for the smushing. See how this works on a not cleaned surface. Now I am standing up to push down on this so I can get a good strong push without an angle, because I think if I tried to push it down at an angle I'd end up shifting the glass around, and then that would totally mess up the patterns going on there. So you might see my shadow from my head. Alright, let's try that on orange. See how that looks. If you have acrylic nails, you're never ever going to be able to get your fingernail under the edge of this glass, so having a palette knife handy is a real good idea. Alright. Oop. And it's optional to make funny noises as you put your paper down. Really gently. Almost like you're just kind of trying to tickle someone. And if you're really quick about this, you can get that second paper on right away. See, that's a little thicker paint, so I got thicker looking tendril things going on there. That's pretty cool. These are going to be really good for putting onto other projects, cutting up, and add more layers to these. Pretty cool. I like this little strip here of metallic. See, this is the problem with having your desk covered with goodies. You have to find room for your goodies. Pretty neat, like that. It makes me think of coral in the ocean. And I'm really curious to see how black turns out on this when I'm doing it. I'm going to spritz this up pretty decent and see if we can get something from that. Just smash that in there together real quick. Be careful not to drop your glass while you're working, or you end up breaking it more than likely. This may or may not give me anything. Yeah, I think this is just going to be kind of a meh. Let's put that on yellow. Too much water. Shannon, I think, had that problem when she was attempting one of these water kind of cleanup bits. But at least we'll get some color on the paper, right? Even if it's not awesome. Or maybe we'll get some color. Yeah, that's not doing much of anything. That's not a good deal. Yeah, so if your paint's dried, adding water and squishing on it, that's not giving you anything. So what I'm going to do now is just clean it up. Now these don't work like the jelly plates do, where when you get that last layer of nasty on there, you rub it really good, you can get that to come off. No, you gotta wash this for real. Alright, the next ones I'm going to do, I'm going to use black, and I'm going to run it as far to the edge of the glass as I can so that I can fill up as much of the paper as possible. And I'm curious to see how interesting that might look due to the neon paper. So I need a sort of clean brush. Let's kind of a good smear it around here, there, everywhere. I think I'll just use this paper that didn't turn out as well as I would hope. Alright, and get a couple of each color. Alright, that way I'm ready to grab and place. Let's see if I have any in here. Alright, I have finished a wattle. I think I'm going to need more paint than that. I I went over there a little bit, so I need to get that out of the way because it might affect it. Alright, here's the hard part. Turning this over while it's completely covered. Okay. You can already see it happening. This is fun. I hope you guys give it a try. You know, you can go to the dollar store and get a couple of cheap frames. Just be careful using the glass because, you know, you can break it. I do suggest maybe getting a cutting board and one of the frames because I'm not hearing any kind of creepy cracky going on doing it like this. Alright. It's kind of fun to watch the little shapes emerge as you peel up the brass. Oh, that's really cool. Super fun. Let's see if I can get a second one out of that. Yeah, those are neat. Now, if you did light colors on dark paper, that would look pretty cool too. I wonder if using a brayer on this cleanup part would help. Just really get it in there. Oh, that's kind of neat. Had a blob in there apparently, and so I squished it around. Kind of looks like a creepy tree maybe growing in the forest. Let's see what we had happen over here. Pretty neat. Alright, well I'm going to keep playing and then I will put a little snippet at the end showing all the fun creations I've gotten, and we'll see you then. As you're doing your project, you're going to need to clean up, of course, and I've discovered that the best way is actually to let the paint dry and then just come in with your palette knife and scrape it off. I was using the baby wipes to begin with, but you have to use so much to get rid of it. Now if you want to color up baby wipes and let them dry and then use those on other projects, then obviously that would be neat, but a little bit easier to clean up doing it this way than with the wipes. So I got one more set to do and then I'll be back and show you all my fun colors I've come up with. Alright, I'm done from my playing. Probably do some more later, but I needed to go eat lunch, so I will show my results real quick and then go do that. So I started off with just a single color on, well, single colors and couple colors on the plate, spreading it around like I showed you. And this one turned out really nice, I think. It's got lots of great little tendrily bits. I'm not sure where this long piece came from, but I must not have smashed onto that part of the glass very hard. And then we have this one, which was a leftover, I do believe, from one. And there's another one. This is a couple of colors of blue. One of them happens to be the metallic. You can just barely see it glinting a little bit there. There's the other side with some of that glinty. And then we have that on green. I think that looks pretty cool on the green. More orange on black. I think that's supposed to be a pair with this one. Now this was like a leftover page and I added some color to it after I had cleaned off my brush. So that's kind of a meh. I also discovered that pastel colors on neon aren't the most attractive. This one here had this neat little tree. I tried to do some kind of a neon, or not neon, but the pastels there, and don't know about that one. Same with this. So here was one of my pastels on white, and I got this brilliant idea. Why not just use blobs instead of spreading out the paint? So here's some of my blobs. Here's some more of my blobs. There's a couple more. These were just pulls that came off second that weren't as impressive that I was trying to help fix. Now this is one of my favorites. So I did my blobs using my hot pink and neon orange and just kind of did them on there, separated out a little bit, and then came back in with some of the black. And I think that turned out really nice. Look at those circles there. And then there's the other half of it. So I really like how those turned out. This was just the leftovers bit, and I came in with some of the black and picked that up. So then I went on to do some random splatter blobs all over and then smashing, and I've decorated these stickers. These are stars. So let's see how one of them looks. I don't know how well dry these are. There you go. Not too bad. I decided to cut the sheets in half before I did the painting. That way I knew I could get the entire half into all the paint rather than having it overhanging and miss some. So I did those stars. I did these strips that are for like what you would put your mailing labels on. Now these are glossy paper. It's actually photo paper. So I'm not sure how well the paint will stick, so I'll experiment with that. I might add some spray or Mod Podge or something to that. So I think those turned out pretty neat. And then I have the larger square ones. I think these were supposed to be used kind of like for labeling bottles or whatever. So those will be pretty cool. And I think my favorite are the circles I did. And I switched to a new color with that. And I think those turned out fabulous. So I've got, what color was this? Bright aqua green, copper, and metallic blue on here. And that just looks awesome, I think. There's another one. And because the paint was a little bit past the paper, I mean the circles, I actually managed to get these out of it too. So that's two kinds of metallic paint on there with that aqua. So I had lots of fun playing with this. So I hope you get inspired, and make sure you check out Cat Hand and Shannon's videos, because they are who inspired me to get going on this. If you are a new viewer on my channel, please subscribe so you can see more artwork from me. Like and share, and please feel free to comment if you have any suggestions or want to ask any questions. Hope you are all having a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.